because some people don't invest enough in themselves. Because if I'm in a business and I can afford, let's say, to go platinum. Let's say I got a credit card, 10 credit cards, whatever, so I can afford to go platinum, but I say, you know what, I'm going to go to associate because I want to test the waters. What happens is my investment in myself is not enough to anchor me to that opportunity. Otherwise, that $49.99, that $99.95 associate dollar money over here versus $9.99 over here, the difference in the two, I can walk away from the $9.99, but the $9.99 is going to keep me focused on my business to make sure my return on investment is in my hand. I can afford to lose that $99 if I can afford this much money over here. So I can walk away from it. So that's why it's important. I tell everybody, come in somewhere between serious and scared to death. Okay, serious enough to take this opportunity at face value that it can grow and build if you grow and you build. Scared to death, knowing that $9.99, you're not going to let it down. You're not going to walk away from it. Okay, that's why I tell. And for some people, the $99 associate package, that's all they can afford. That's it. They don't. Their charge cards are max. That to them, that kind of person is the same commitment level that a $9.99 or a $6.99 is to people that's what they can afford. Does that make sense? Everybody nod your head like this if that makes. Otherwise, you got to make sure that your entry level puts you and makes you serious to become successful in any business, not just ours, in any business. So it's kind of like me opening up a store in the mall saying, well, you know what? I'm just going to put one of each product on the shelves and I'm going to see if we sell them. And all of a sudden, you know, I sell it or I don't make sales because people walk by and they see an empty store and they don't even come in. And therefore I think, well, man, I'm glad I didn't invest it. I'm going to close this one down and go down the street to the other mall. Okay. That's what happens. But if they got a full store stocked, ready to go, and people walk by, they're going to say, wow, I wonder what all that is. Wonder what that, they're going to come in, they're going to shop, they're going to buy. So in a home-based business, it's almost the same thing. But with our business model, you don't have to inventory if you don't want to. But don't get me wrong. In all my businesses, when I was a distributor, I always made sure I had 2 or 3 or 4 of this and 2 or 3 or 4 of that, because I had friends and family that would buy from me. Okay, they would spend a little more with me. But if I didn't have it to sell them right then and there, they say, well, let me think about it. And they would never order it. So, you know, hot button and being able to make a sale right then and there is important. You know, Randy, I don't know if we've started the recording or not. I just realized I'm sitting here rambling on. Did we start the recording, Randy? Yes. Okay. You're on mute, Randy. That's probably why I can't hear you. So that's why it's important to get the commitment that's right for you, because it might not be the same commitment value for the next person. But the fact is, we lead by example. If one of your family or friends say, you know what, man, that webinar was phenomenal. How did you get started, Ricky? If Ricky says, well, I came in as a free member and I wanted to test the waters, guess what they're going to do? They're going to come in as a free member and test the waters. And Ricky ain't making no money that way. But if Ricky says, you know what, I decided that I was all in. And I want to build, I want to be the next millionaire in this company. And I see the chance to do it. I came in as a platinum distributor. And that gives me the highest chance of achieving success. Guess what Ricky's friend or family member or neighbor is going to do? They're going to try to mimic what Ricky's doing. And if they can't, they're going to go as high as they can at that point. Okay? So building the commitment factor and the belief factor is so important. Plus, what it does is it puts products in your hands for you to start trying. I tell everybody, if you come in as a platinum, you're going to get 2 of this and 2 of this with that the first month. Then you can select 4 from the pull down menu. But you're not going to be able to get this unless you order it separately. You're not going to be able to get this unless you order it separately and try it. You know, you're not going to be, there's certain products that aren't in the drop downs. So you want to make sure you become a product of the product. Once you are, there are no armies in the world that can ever defeat you in your journey to success. So with that being said, let's move on just for a second. We have a link that Randy put together when you advertise the webinar. And let me say this, if you're not advertising the webinar, we had guests on that Gray got on, and Willard has Ricky that came on, and other people that have. If you are not using the new webinar link, it's going to cost you, because this way we can track where people got to the webinar. So what I'm going to do is Randy, can you post that link in for everybody to see? Thank you. Thank you, Ricky. I appreciate that. If Randy's going to post the link in here, and let me give you a quick training on this link. He'll show it up here in a second. The link is genprosystem.com/?r equals. And to the right of that equals, you want to type no spacing. You want to type your first and last name. So you want to put Joyce Stanley or Bryona Slaughter with no space in between your first and last name. So there's no spacing in there. Equals BRY, spell it out. And then you can advertise it. Now, some people would rather, that's pretty long when you got it like that. So some people would rather maybe buy a domain name and set it up to forward without cloaking it, though. Because if you cloak it, it won't work. So without cloaking it, maybe like Gray has launch of the century, okay, .com, and it points to his. So you might want to get go here to get your seat.com, something like that, okay, whatever. And in turn, use the link. Now, can everybody see that link? Nod your heads if you can see it okay, there it is. To the right of the equal and up against it, don't leave a space in there. Up against it, you want your name typed in there. Bill Smith, B-I, capital B, little I, L-L, capital S, little M-I-T-H, all one. And then copy that, paste it, and hyperlink it in your social media, in everything. And that way, whenever they go and register for this webinar, your name is going to show up next to their name. And Randy and I'll know who belongs to who, because that is so important. That way you're going to get 100% credit for your advertising efforts. And yes, Rod Thompson asked for it. Rod Thompson got it. Okay. So that takes care of that. That link is so important, folks. So important. Now, I've had people this week, I've talked to a lot of new distributors that gave me calls, a bunch of them I knew personally that actually have been watching us for 3.5 years. We had a small team that came on board this week that I've known for 30 years, 2 of them. And then this was a team they had built. This is their sergeants, as they call them. And then they'll bring in the troops. But they basically have all said, the same thing. What kind of training, what kind of fast start training can we give people to get them to take action? Okay. So this part of the training is going to kind of go this route. Remember one thing, we can give people pages and pages of training. We can give them step 1, do this, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, step 6, step 7, step 8. Yeah, I was on a website that they gave me from another company that company actually gave training. And I've never seen companies give this kind of training. But the training was so massive that personally, it turned me off. Okay? What they gave me was not duplicatable. It actually scared me. Even though I knew I could do it, it scared me. So whenever we talk about fast start training, the key word in that is the word fast. Fast means take all out massive action. Don't become a student of it in the beginning. If you do and you take, well, I'm going to take this next week and study first before I go out to the world. If you do, you will never go out to the world. You will lose sight of success. It's what happens. An example of this is basically learning from our mistakes. Everybody heard that phrase all your life? Learn from your mistakes. Go out and make mistakes. Go out and just decimate yourself. Okay? Mess up royally and learn from them. This is why it's so important. The trainings that we did 30 years and 40 years ago that I helped develop, a good friend of mine, Earl Shaw. I don't know if any of y'all have ever heard of Earl Shaw. Earl Shaw is an icon. He is in the Network Marketing Hall of Fame. Earl and I were great friends back in the 80s in Herbalife and in NSA. And Earl and I put together a training seminar, and we actually charged $999 a head for this training. And we had over 1,500 people at the training. Part of that training was, we called it Eagle and Duck training at the same time. But part of that training taught people that you've got to go out there and just decimate. You have to just devastate yourself. Go out there, but start with warm market, hot market. Don't go to ice cold market if you want to be successful, because ice cold market will turn you down. They will rip your heart out, and they don't care. But wouldn't you agree, mom and dad, grandma and grandpa, uncle and aunt, cousins, brothers, sisters, next door neighbors that you're close with, wouldn't you agree that they, in their heart of hearts, they want you to be successful? Wouldn't you agree? Everybody nod your heads. They want you to, okay? And they're not going to tear and rip your heart out, okay? They're not going to try to devastate you. They might try to turn you down, but they're not going to devastate you. So that warm market is the market that you can learn from, that you can grow from in your journey to success. And if people don't start with that market, they will fail miserably. And it's proven since the mid-'80s through this year, 35 years, the failure rate in this industry is maintained 98% because people would not go to warm market. And the number one reason why they wouldn't go to warm market is they didn't believe in their products. The three reasons: they didn't believe in their products, they didn't use their products, and their products were low quality and overpriced. That's why the failure rate is so high in this industry. It becomes a recruiting nightmare. So with that being the case, that's what spurred the business model that we created here at Genusity, that Randy and I created, where we went out, met with formulators, medical doctors, took our own experience that, like I had in health and nutrition, and put together some of the best products money can buy. And nobody's going to be able to go to a manufacturer and duplicate what we're doing, because no company is in there stocking $3 and $4 million worth of product. They're buying 50 of this and 100 of that. That's how they buy. And they try to maintain 30, 60, 90-day inventories. I'm not. I'm going to buy super high quantities of high quality to get that price down so low that I know nobody's going to touch me unless they're willing to make that same investment. That way I can pay y'all that difference. Now, with that being said, that now alleviates a roadblock of that actually makes you reroute to failure. Because now family and friends, when you have family and friends or neighbors that are buying CBD oils, just as an example, okay? And I'm going to give you a tip on how to find out what people are using in just a minute. But whenever they're buying it and you find out what they're buying, I mean, you won't believe, folks. I've talked to people this week, this past week, that, yeah, I use a 250 milligram. I pay $119.95 a bottle for full spectrum. And I'm like, and they're bragging about it. They're bragging about it. I said, well, let me ask you this though. What do you think would be better for you? 1,000 milligram full spectrum for $59.95 or a 250 milligram full spectrum for $119? For how much? Okay. I got their attention. I didn't ask them if they'd buy it. I said, what do you think would be better for you? 1,000 milligram or at $59.95 or your 250 at $119.95? Folks, people aren't stupid. You will have an occasional, was 1,000 milligrams too much? No, it's not too much. The human body can take in 15 to 25 milligrams a day, easily, 30, 40, 50 a day, easily. Depends on somebody's weight, body, the stress that their system's under. It depends on how high stress their job is. It depends on what's going on with their family. There's so many reasons why people take CBD, or how much pain they're in from fibromyalgia. You got to remember, every stress inducement center of the human body creates a need for milligram of CBD and uses it. So if you're under high stress, you have fibromyalgia, you have arthritis, you have major problems, your need and your amount of CBD can be higher than somebody that is just free going and laid back, and they just don't have a whole lot of worries in the world. They might only need 10 or 15 milligrams a day, 25 milligrams a day, but I guarantee you what? 99% of the population in this country, much less any other country out there, is under heavy stress. Would everybody agree with that? Put your hands up, those that I can see, and type in a 1 if we don't see you. Okay? They're under stress. They can get by with 50 to 100 to 150 milligrams a day of CBD. You can't OD on it, folks. The human body acclimates. We are born with a certain amount of cannabinoids in our system already. We dissipate it faster than we do our serotonin and melatonin levels, which actually dissipate by the time you're 30 to 40 years old, you're losing that. You lose your cannabinoid factors in the body in your first 3 to 10 years of age. And they're learning more about that. So here we are with products that I can look at them and say, you're under heavy stress. That 250 probably, you might think it's doing something, but it's probably not really helping you. But how would you like to get a 3,500 milligram full spectrum? Because you're under a lot of stress. You got fibromyalgia too. 3,500 milligram. Listen to this. For $99.95, $20 less than what you're paying for your $119.95 250 milligram. What do you think is going to happen to my family and friends and neighbors that find out that price difference and that quality difference? What's going to happen, everybody? What's going to happen? They're going to buy, right? So that is success without selling. Again, let me repeat that. That is success without selling. It's nothing more than sharing, educating, believing. My belief factor is higher than anybody's in the world when it comes to my product. Okay? I firmly believe, not because I'm the owner of the company with Randy, not because it's my money invested in it. It's because I'm a product of these products. I use them every day. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't use our 1,000 milligram. I've graduated up because of my cancer that I had and because of the pain in my body and everything. I've graduated to our 3,500 milligram bottle. Okay? But it's because of the stress level that I'm in. I use this Gentize. I use this 100 times a day. I mean, I use it. Amy's shaking her head because she knows what I'm talking about. Her and Cody use the crap out of this because when I leave this house, this bottle's going with me. When I leave the house, I get in the car and I go to the ATM machine to make a deposit. I will roll down my window. I'll put my bank card in. I'll touch the buttons in the touch screen. And then while I'm waiting for it to propagate, Teresa's got it ready. She sprays it in my hands and I'm going like this right then and there. Okay. And then when it says punch in your your code. I might be overdoing it, but this is what I do. I'll punch in my PIN number, hit that. I'll wait for the next screen. She'll give me a few more drops of it. I'll do this again, okay? And I'll finish up, and she'll give me this 3, 4, 5 times. And we've actually had a car next to us in the drive-through, because it's got the bank machine lane, it's got the drive-through lane, drive-through, and another bank machine lane. There's people watching this whole thing. And I'll purposely be looking over at them going like this. So, but the fact is, that product, I'm a believer in it. I'm a believer. I don't think, last March, we're thinking I might have had COVID. And because of Gen Health and how much of this I was using, I believe my gut health was, even though my immune system was depleted from the radiation and the chemo, the experimental chemo treatments, I believe this replenished my gut health and helped me fight it off. I had a high temperature for 2-3 nights, and then it was gone. I couldn't breathe good, but then it was gone. So I believe it did, but I'm a product of these products. My grandpuppy and my grandkitties use this. I say grand because I don't have any. Okay, I want to be able to go to the mountains and go to a log cabin and not worry about a dog or a cat putting it up at I went through those years. Okay, now my son-in-law and daughter have the grandpuppy and grandkitties. Okay, they've got 3 bottles of this every month they're buying. Every month they buy. I use this every morning with this. Every morning when I wake up, every night before I go to bed, I use this. This is part of my daily regimen. So I'm a believer. And what I'm sharing with you right now are diamond chips. This is how you become successful, because once you believe in these products, what you're doing is you are building a shield of success for you and your business and your family. You see, a belief factor is a shield. So when you do run into those negative Nellies, y'all know what I'm talking about, who I'm talking about, okay? When you do run into those negative Nellies, okay, and they say, oh, no, I can buy it cheaper on Amazon. I can buy it cheaper at Walmart. I've seen that. I can buy that exact product on eBay right now for half the price. Okay, when we run into those people and they are that way, we don't have to fight with them. We can learn to walk away from them. Okay, there's only 10 of those people in the whole world. They just travel from city to city, state to state. Okay, without a doubt. But the fact is, your belief factor builds a shield of success for you, your business, and your family. And there's nobody that can tear it away from you. And when they see your belief factor, it rubs off on them. How many people, let me share something with you. I'm almost done with this section. Let me share something with you. I did a conference, a training conference up in Norfolk, Virginia, back in 1989. Earl Shaw was there, Ray Rossi was there, Jeff Roberti was there, Bill and Carolyn Johnston out of Texas was there for a company called NSA. And I did a training. And we had, at that particular training, I want to say 850 people from all over the world came in for that training. It was a 3-day training. And I took the early morning training, and it was packed. We had people standing around. The fire marshal was there, okay? And I was talking about belief factor. I was talking about success. And I noticed this fella on the front aisle, okay? I noticed this fella on the front aisle. And he had his arms folded. Has anybody ever been to a conference, a hotel meeting, and you've seen those people with their arm folded and they're kind of going like this and giving that I just don't believe what I'm seeing. I don't believe in what. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, Coach Reggie, don't you? Huh? Those people, okay, they're there. This guy happened to be on the front row. Okay. So I looked down at him. I said, sir, are you feeling okay? are you feeling okay? He said, yeah, I feel fine. I feel fine. Are you sure? Are you feeling okay? Yeah, I'm feeling fine. And I'd go on for another few minutes. And I'd look down at him and I said, sir, now, seriously, are you okay? He said, yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay. He started getting a little irate with me. I said, okay, I'm just concerned. I just noticed you don't look like you're feeling good. No, I'm fine. I'm fine, like that. He got up and left for a minute. He got up, apparently went to the restroom, went and got some water, whatever he did. And the minute I knew he was going to leave, and I looked at everybody around him and I said, do me a favor. Whenever he comes back, because he was a guest of somebody sitting in the front, whenever he comes back, each one of you over the next 20, 30 minutes, tap him on the shoulder and say, are you okay? Are you okay? He came back, and for the next hour, 4 people did that to him. Each one would wait 10 minutes in between. And before you know it, I looked at him and said, sir, are you feeling okay? He says, I'm not. I feel terrible. The power of persuasion is powerful. When you hear it from enough people's mouths, it becomes factual. The power of the mind can control your mindset. So success and failure teeter-totter on what I call is the power of persuasion, the power of belief. And therefore, what happens is people get into a home-based business, into the network marketing industry, and they have zero power of belief. And they are totally 100% susceptible to the power of persuasion. So what happens is they sign up and they get into a program for $500 or $1,000 or $2,000. They don't get anything for their money. They get ebooks. How many of you have seen those programs? Okay. You get 3 ebooks worth $15,000 for $999. Okay. And that's it. They never open those ebooks up. They never anything. And they're out there trying to, man, you got to get into this because you get these 3 ebooks, but more importantly, you get a chance to make $1 million putting $1,000 up right now. You've heard them. They're out there. Okay. Zero product, zero belief factor. So after they approach 5 or 10 people that all say, stay away, no way, they blow out. They're gone to the next program. Would you agree with me there, everybody? They're gone. But now, you take a distributor that gets product, they use the product, they love the product. And let's face it, these are timing products. Everybody can use these on a daily basis, can't they? Huh? Right? They can use this on a daily basis, right, everybody? See some heads nodding, okay? How many people know that know at least 5 people that need to lose weight? Raise your hands. 5 people. They can use this, right? Or need more energy, focus. Yeah. Now, how many people know people that drink coffee? Okay. They can use this every day, can't they? Okay. The more they use it, the more they're building a belief factor up. So now what happens is when they run into that resistance, okay, the resistance is eroded away, not their belief factor. Their chance of success over 3, 6, 9, 12, 18, 24, 36, 48 months is there. I've had people on my teams in the 80s that were with me with Herbalife. I was with Herbalife for 6 years that stayed with me and were product users and weren't making any money because Herbalife's products were way overpriced. I look back on those days and that's all we had to go with, though. You couldn't buy everything that they had in the vitamin stores and the Walmarts and everything back in those days. So, and in turn, they were overpriced. And my family and friends, some of them wouldn't buy it. But what happened was I've had people sign up with me that stayed with me. And they couldn't do anything, but they loved the products and they were believers. And they came to all the hotel meetings. They showed up for the phone conferences, okay? Old school phone conference calls. They were there. They attended. They never made a dime. And all of a sudden in their 4th year, their 5th year, something broke, something changed. And all of a sudden their belief factor was pinnacled. It was there at the top. They were there. They reached the summit, and all of a sudden they went hog wild. One of them that I can think of, his name was Tiny. He lost a lot of weight with a product of ours at Herbalife. Some of you might have even heard of him, okay? He went by Tiny. He came up on stage as Tiny. He lost 155 pounds. That product saved his life. And when he hit that pinnacle of weight loss, his belief, there was nobody that could tell him any different. He became $1 million earner in his first true year, his 5th year in Herbalife, because he believed. But it took him 4 years to believe. So building your belief factor will create a shield of success for you, your family, and your business. So using the product, committing to the company, being on these webinars and trainings will help to build a bigger belief factor and will be duplicatable for you and your business. So fast start is nothing more. Remember, we're circling back around to what we started at. Fast start training, fast, getting out of the gates, using the products, sharing the products, making retail sales, okay? Making retail sales. Because every time you get a retail sale, within 2 to 3 weeks after they try that product and believe in that product, you now have a person that's highly recruitable. Now, how do you recruit them? You have a couple different ways. I like these ways better than the third way, so I won't even talk about the third way. Third way is a direct way. Hey, how would you like to make money? I don't like that way. The way I like is the side door approach. Okay, side door approach is kind of simple. Hey, Donna, that product's that you love that mink oil, don't you? Yeah, it's great. Hey, listen, real quick, do you know anybody, any of your friends, family, anybody that would like to get that product? Because let me tell you, I'm a believer in it too. I use it every day. So could you help me maybe build some sales with this? Do you know anybody that would? Oh, they would? You already told them? Okay, great. Let me write that. Okay, that. And I can use tell them you referred me. Okay, great. And their phone. Okay, great. Now listen, Donna, I've got a situation here. You can either give me those and I'll make all the money on them, or you can join us for free. You can get your own retail site for free and you can make all the money. Which would you rather do? Okay, that's my side door approach. Okay, putting it out on the table so I'm not taking away from her customer base. Back door approach. This is actually my favorite. Okay, this is actually my favorite. Hey, Donna, how's that product doing? It's doing great. You like that mink oil, don't you? Okay, well, let me ask you this. I am building my business. I'm expanding worldwide already. It's phenomenal. Donna, do you know anybody that would like to earn an extra $1,000, $2,000 a month part-time, or maybe $5,000 or $10,000 or more per month full-time? Because I'm looking to expand my business. Do you know anybody that you can think of that would like to make that kind of money? Now, remember, I didn't ask Donna if Donna wanted to sign up with me, did I? No, didn't ask Donna. I asked Donna if she knew of anybody. But 99 out of 100 times, what's Donna going to say? Donna's going to say, me. Yeah, you can make that kind with this? Oh, yeah, listen, by far. Well, tell me how. Now, let me say this, y'all. You have got to learn one big phrase right now. Donna, are you serious? It's an add-on phrase. Donna, are you serious now? You are? Well, hold your questions. Donna, are you serious now? You are? Well, then hold your questions. Let's just say it's Monday and I'm talking to Donna. Donna, are you available tomorrow night around 7:30, 7:45 p.m. if she's on the East Coast with me? You are? I want to patch you into a live business presentation that the CEO of this company is going to do. And Donna, let me say this because I'm new at this too, and I don't want to mess it up for you. But when I saw the same webinar, I was done. And now I'm making money. Do you see the duplicatable aspect of what I just did, everybody? You see it? See, if I succumbed to tell me how and say, okay, well, let's sit down. And an hour and a half later, I'm going, well, you know, that's part of it, Donna, but there is more. What do you think Donna's going to say after an hour and a half of my verbiage and adjectives flowing through her ears? Okay. Donna's going to say, well, let me think about it. Okay. Not duplicatable. She can't see herself sitting with somebody for an hour and a half trying to explain it, right? So the backdoor approach is one of my favorite ones. I love it because I'm not asking them to get into anything. And wouldn't it be great if they said, well, you know what? I'm not interested. Oh, you're not? Well, wasn't asking, but if you know of anybody, take it away from them a second time. Okay? Take it away from them a second. But who do you know? Well, you know what? I've got a friend, John. I kind of mentioned this to him, and he's kind of interested. Okay, let me get John's information. Boom. See, what I just shared with you is where a lot of network marketers fail, and that is questioning their prospect, questioning their customer. They're afraid to. They're afraid they're going to create buyer's remorse. They're going to create something. I never worry about somebody that buys my product wanting to send it back. Because if they do, they never used it. If they do, they're a gamer. If they do, they're a flake. I hate to say that, but it's just the truth. Because if somebody uses this product right here, if somebody uses this product right here, 2 or 3 months worth, somebody tries this, they'll never send it back. They won't. We've only had, listen to this, y'all, in 3.5, listen to me, in 3.5 years since we opened our doors, we've only had 4 product returns in 3.5 years. Now, I don't know about you, but I've seen companies that have had 4 product returns a day on the average every day, 7 days a week, 30 days a month. Okay? We've had 4 returns. That is phenomenal when building a residual income. So with that, I want to go ahead and switch gears. Any questions before I move to the next thing? I've only got 5 or 10 minutes left. So any questions real quick before I move? Four-step display. I tell you what, we'll get on that another day, maybe. Okay. That might be too much, but we'll get on that another day. Risers come 2 in a box. Okay. Yeah. Well, oh, yeah. The risers. Yeah. Those are great display risers. Like what I built here out of box. I took boxes and I put black cloth on them and made my own little black risers. You can buy them at Office Depot, Staples, online, Amazon. You can buy the risers online, product display risers. Those are great to have, folks. And it keeps your product out there displayed in case if anybody comes through. Would you accept me into your Facebook group? I just requested. Yes, Ricky, we'll get you added as soon as this call's over with. Lives on Facebook. Thank you, Randy. I was trying to remember that. Okay, next. This leads into our next topic. I've got 2 topics. Facebook Lives. Okay. I know some of you are afraid to do Facebook Lives. Okay. Listen, you got to break down that fear factor. Okay. And part of breaking it down is whenever you firmly believe in your product. Okay. That breaks down and eliminate, because fear is nothing more than a lack of knowledge. Would everybody agree with that? Lack of knowledge is fear, 100%, without a doubt. So if you build your knowledge of these products by using them, okay, your fear factor will almost eliminate itself. So doing lives on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, I'm going to say this. We're seeing a shift, a trend, and we can get in front of it. It just started. Okay. Paparazzi kind of started it 2 years ago, but then it fell off. You notice you don't see the paparazzi Facebook Lives hardly at all anymore. You notice that? But let me say this. I used to laugh about them jewelry that fell apart in the first month, but they made millions of dollars with cheap garbage. And don't get me wrong, I call it cheap garbage because it is what it is. It was nice, it was decorative, but after it got a little of your skin moisture on it, the fake jewels would fall out, okay? So you'd be walking around, you wouldn't know that your bracelet didn't have any jewels in it, okay? So people found this out. But what happened was distributors were making sales right over Facebook. They would set up, Facebook has a payment plan, a payment program that you can sign up for, that you can accept payments right over your Facebook Live. How many of you even knew about that? I just found out about that today. Okay, I didn't know about it until today. Randy told me about it. So you can go out there and get set up on the Facebook payment thing where you can accept payments right over Facebook. And then if you have products, that's why it's important to have 5 or 10 of each product on hand. You can do a live. Title your live, how would you like to look 10 to 20 years younger? You know, set it up ahead of time. What are those things called? Randy, what is it called when you can schedule a call and put it out there and announce it? That way people will be aware of it and they'll come to it. I can't.
It's it's basically, that's what it is. It's an announcement or a schedule or whatever. But
yeah,
absolutely. I mean, but you know, one thing you got to do, and I'm gonna put a link in there before people start sending me a support ticket about how to set that up. There's how you set up your Facebook payments.
Wow. I don't know how they can copy and paste it because it won't copy and paste out of Zoom for some reason.
They can just click on it and it should open up in another tab.
Yeah, click on it and open up in another tab.
You know, one of the most important things, Tim, not to take away from what you're teaching, but one of the most important things is having enough people to see your lives. Now, how do you get those people? Well, you simply go into your Facebook account, and I'm going to do it while I'm telling you how to do this. So I'm opening up my Facebook page, and over on the left-hand side, it says Friends. I'm going to click on Friends, and then it's going to tell me all the people that it suggests that I can become friends with. And all I got to do is just say add friend, add friend, add friend, add friend, add friend, add friend. And I can just go through here. I got a list. I must be 5 million people here that I've got a list of. Now, you only want to do about 50 of these a day. Okay? Only about 50 a day. You'll get about 5% of them that'll become friends with you. Now, you've got to do your Facebook Lives on the same day, basically the same time every time. So if you're going to do them every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 p.m., make sure every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 p.m. you're on, okay? If you're going to just do them on Wednesday at 5 p.m., do them on Wednesday at 5 p.m. There's no length of time. You can be on there for 10 minutes. You can be on there for 3 hours. But what I would highly recommend is that you have one of each product, okay, that you're going to sell, and you just hold it up in front and just talk about it a little while and say, anybody that wants to get this, just let me know in the comments. Just put Meekle in the comments. Mm-hmm. And that's how, listen to this. A girl I went to school with was basically poor, and she started paparazzi 7 years ago. She's now one. There's only 3 people in the same top position she's in. She's one of those 3 people. There's nobody in the very top of paparazzi. There's only 3 people in the second top position. And she's one of those 3 people. She makes almost $1 million a year. But that's not that she done it all on Facebook. That's what I'm trying to get at here. She done it all on Facebook. Now we're seeing other companies start to do it on Facebook. I've been seeing people doing it with CBD oil. Because you can bypass Facebook's filters with CBD oil. You can't advertise CBD on Facebook, but you can do a Facebook Live and talk about it.
Right. Let me tell you, and Randy said something that I have to disagree with Randy on, okay? Don't have one of each, okay? Don't have one of each, because the worst thing in the world is all of a sudden they buy it and you do a Facebook Live and you get 7 sales and you've only got 1.
Did I say one of each? I actually didn't mean that. What I meant was you need to have each product that you're going to sell. You need to make sure you've got 5 or 10 of them. So if you're going to do mink oil, then make sure you've got 5 or 10 of them and tell folks, look, I've only got 5 of these and I'm ready to ship them out to you right now. So the first 5 people is going to get it. And remember, you bought it at the wholesale price. Okay. So you're retailing it to them and making that money. You're making that cash, the difference there.
Yeah.
And,
and point out the difference. Give examples, documented examples. Folks, There's a mink oil on Amazon that is pure, sells for $119. You can get ours today on my live for $49.95, $70 less a bottle, 100% pure, certifiable pure. In CBD oil, folks, there's a store 5 miles from me that sells a 2,500 milligram full spectrum CBD oil for $349.95. Here's our 3,500 milligram full spectrum, high quality, higher quality than theirs, $99.95 today on my live. Don't say that it's, we know we sell it all the time. Like today on my live, you can get it for $99.95. Okay? Exactly. Okay. Don't point out that's our normal price, because if you do a product comparison pricing like I just did, $349 or $99, in $2,500 here for $349 or $3,500 for $99, you're creating the want, the thirst, the taste, the hunger for that product. And you might do 3 lives and not have one sale and feel like, man, this just isn't working, I'm going to give up. Let me say this. Don't ever give up, because that's when you do fail. Randy and I, let me say this. When I first got online, when I first started in GDIs, when I first got online back in late 2003, early 2004, I didn't understand the internet, computers, nothing. I was self-taught. I had to figure it out. Okay, and man, did I have fear, because I had no knowledge. And let me say this. I found out about Safe List and I thought, hold it a second. This Safe List has 900 members. This one has 9,000 members. This one has 3,000. This one has 1,000. If I do 100 Safe Lists, I can get it out to 1.2 million people, and it takes me 3 or 4 hours a day. That's a whole lot better than making 10 phone calls a day.
And let me tell you something. People high up in the network marketing industry laughed at him.
They laughed at me. And don't get me wrong, the first 3 months, I wasn't getting hardly anything from those Safe Lists, because people were watching my ads. They were watching my emails in their inbox, and they were waiting to see if I was going to stick with that company I was promoting. And all of a sudden it started clicking. About the 3rd month, I think it was almost close to the 90th day, I got like 5 signups in a day. And I was like, wow, this is incredible. The next day I got like 3 signups. The next day there was one day I had 27 signups in one day, because I had built up to that. So when you are doing Facebook Lives, you might have a week that you do one on Monday at noon, one at Wednesday at noon, one at Friday at noon, and then a Saturday afternoon, 5 o'clock. Okay, and you do that for 4 weeks, 6 weeks, and you only make 1 sale in 6 weeks. Folks, do not give up.
And remember, those Facebook Lives play over and over and over and over again.
Because here's what's going to happen. You're going to have people that are going to see it once and think, it's just not me. You're going to have people, that same person, see it a week later. Well, you know what? That's kind of interesting, but not right now. Then you're going to have them, they're going to see it in the 3rd week, and they're going to go, no. The 4th week, well, let me listen to what he's got to say. Well, I like that. Yeah, but I'm going to think about it still. 5th week. Well, there it is. You know what? I think I need that. Boom, they order it. See, sales is timing. How many agree with that statement? Sales is nothing more than timing. Okay? And belief. They want to know that you're going to be with that company to service them or support them. Okay? And when they see those people that stick with it, that hang with it, I brought in some of the most powerful network marketers, they are now, I should say, that watched me during my career, that said, no way, that tried to get me into their deal. And I'm a bulldog. I'm like my marriage. I am fully committed. I don't care how pretty the woman is. I don't care what she looks like, how tall, short she is. I don't give a, that doesn't have a glow. Teresa has a glow. She's my commitment girl. I would never, ever look at it. That's why whenever I see these network marketers promoting 6 or 8 companies, I would never join with that person. Never. I would never consider signing up in a company with a person that I know in the last 12 months has been with 4 other companies. Because I guarantee you what, if I build with that person and they move to the next company, they're going to come after they're going to be raiders of the downline. They're going to pull a what's his name, Harrison? They're going to pull one of those on me and try to steal my team. Okay.
And don't get caught up on these Facebook Lives. Don't get caught up saying, how do I do it? How do I do it? Just do it.
Just do it.
Figure it out while you're going along. Message people. Get their addresses when you got to ship it to them. It's as simple as that. Send them a payment link. Make them pay. Whatever. However you're going to get them to pay. It's got to be one of the easiest things in the world. And Teresa said, I'm homebound. How do I do this? Well, that's how you do it.
That's how you do it. Now, one thing to keep in mind, your first week or 2 of Facebook Lives. So for those of you that are going to use them, your first week or 2, keep your Facebook Live down to 10 to 12 minutes. Everybody hear me there? Keep your first week or 2 Facebook Lives down to 10 to 12 minutes. Set an egg timer if you know what those are, okay? Those who don't, set a stopwatch or something, okay? Look at your clock. Keep them at 10 to 12 minutes. Don't make it a 30-minute live. If you do, you'll blow out people, okay? Keep them short and sweet in the beginning, because those first 2 weeks worth of Facebook Lives are going to set the precedent of capturing people. Because see, you're gonna want to fit in everything that you want them to see in that 10 to 12 minutes, okay? So those are your beginning. That's what sets in and etches in concrete who you are to your viewership. Then in your 3rd week on, as you do them, you can go to 15, 20, 30 minutes, okay? Those are the follow-up ones. Those are the ones that I call the entertaining ones.
How many of y'all ever watch HSN or QVC? Raise your hand if you're on the camera. You're the HSN or QVC host of your own Facebook Live. Think about how they present products, and you present them the same way. Put the mink oil on if you need to or whatever, and show, oh man, look how easy this goes on and everything, you know? While you're live, doing it live, do all that and answer comments as people are commenting and things like that. It's incredible what you can do to create your own television show, basically, your own HSN or your own QVC. But it does take, you are going to have to build into it. You're going to have to keep building your friends as well. Now, you can offer giveaways. Somebody mentioned that in there, drawings. You can say, for everybody that shares this live, I'm going to put you in a drawing to win 1 free Gen Mink or something like that. You don't have to do that often, but do it sometimes and see how many shares and comments you get.
And let them know that on Saturdays, 5 p.m. or Fridays, noon, let them know the date and the time of that next live that you're going to do that drawing on. And say you want to be, because you have to be present to win. Okay. You want to build your viewership, folks. Okay. That's going to create the viewership. So they're going to set a timer. They're going to put it on their calendar. They're going to do everything they can, and they're going to build it up. Now, I'm going to end on that note with that. Okay. I'm going to end on that note with that. We can elaborate on this more on another call, but take action and have fun. Make sure you've got product on hand. Okay. If you oversell, you got 10 and all of a sudden in your 4th week, 3rd week, all of a sudden you get 15 orders, then what you can do is several things. You can direct them to your website, but you're taking a chance on losing them and them not going and ordering. Okay. So, but you will learn how to manipulate and do it for them at that time. Because for $50 profit on a bottle of 3,500, I'll spend 5 minutes on the phone with my customer from Facebook and get their order and ask them to start looking for other people that they can refer to me. See what I did? I'm using that time with them as well, because I'm going to get some referrals or recruits.
And one thing you'll learn too about Facebook is if you're just honest with people and say, look, there was accidentally 14 of you and I only had 10 and you're one of those 4, it's going to be about 7 to 10 days before I can get it to you. Is that okay? Most of the time they'll say, sure, just whenever you get it to me.
Yep.
Then you just order 20 more from us, you get them and start shipping them out.
Yep. So Or just Teresa, you don't let them know you got 15. Okay. You just let them know, you just hold up the one product. This Gen Mink is phenomenal. Folks, listen, do you have lines or wrinkles or crow's feet? Do you have a sagging neck? Do you have scars or age spots? How about ladies? Ladies, any of you given birth in the last year or 2 or 3, or maybe lost 50 or 70 pounds, but you got stretch marks? This product eliminates it. Eliminates it. Don't say this product is a cure. Don't ever use the word cure on your lives. That's what I wanted to say before we ended.
And may help, not will, but may help reduce them.
May eliminate them. Okay, could eliminate them. So
also,
now don't go anywhere, because y'all, I hear a few people just left. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to touch on one last thing before we
one thing real quick, Tim, because I disagree with you on that part as far as the tip, not saying how many you got. Scarcity sells. But you don't have to necessarily say I've only got 6 of these. You can say, folks, I just got just a few of these.
That's what I was going to say. Just let them know. Don't give them an exact numbers where I was going with that. You hold that product and say, I just have a few of these left in stock, folks. We have been selling the crap out of this product. Okay. So if you want it, you need to go to that button down below and press it and get it on order, and we'll get it out to you today. Not in 2 weeks, today. Shipping today. Now, let's move to the last thing. I can only spend a minute on it, so I was going to try to spend a little bit more time. This part of the training is what we'll end with. And it's called, Would You Recruit You? That's a pretty strong statement, isn't it? Okay. Would you recruit you? Okay. And I'm not going to say, have you done enough to build your business? Have you retailed enough? Have you recruited enough? Have you made money? No. Would you recruit you? See, to become better at what we do, we have to look at ourselves. And this is true with self-improvement, no matter if it's in business or in our personal lives or anything. We have to ask ourselves, are we doing the most we can do for our family? Are we doing the most we can do for us, for ourselves? Are we doing the most we can do for our business? Am I somebody that I would want to recruit? Okay. How can I expect them to do what I'm not willing to do? Y'all know what I'm talking about there? Okay. Exactly. So every day, ask yourself, would I recruit myself? Would I want me? Am I ready to advance to that next stage? Am I willing to do the things that are needed to be done to become successful in this business? You see, this is one of those building blocks that people skip. They don't look inward, they look outward. Y'all know what I'm talking about, where we're looking at everybody else out here that we want to recruit and everything. But before we can recruit anybody, we have to become a magnet, and they have to be steel. We got to be what they want to be. Now does that statement hold water now? Okay. You see, attraction marketing is what a lot of big dogs have called it over the years. I've always called it magnet and steel, okay? All my life in this industry. You have to become a magnet. You have to refine yourself day in and day out. If you're sitting at the TV set 3 hours a day, you will not become a magnet. You will become a piece of jello, okay? And try nailing that jello to the wall. You never will do it. You'll always slip off and fail. So we have to learn in our journey to success that those building blocks along the way, we have to honor all of them. And one of them is us, okay? We have to become the best of us. So everything I've shared today really has to do with us. And that is becoming a product of the product, building a belief factor, which in turn builds that shield of success that is impenetrable. So with that being said, I was going to go further, but we've gone way too long already. I appreciate y'all hanging in this long. We love you guys. Y'all are our family, without a doubt. We learn from each other. Remember, this is the this is the last weekend of the month. Tomorrow is the last day of the month. We are right on the edge of having the shortest month of the year become our biggest month of the year. So, and I know we can all do it. Do your best always for your family, for God, for your family, and for you and your business as well. With that being said, utilize that support ticket system. I want to ask everybody to please, when you use it, please don't write us a book. I hate to ask it like that, but we've had a few books come in. I mean, like 10 pages. And it was like, and it wasn't, I read it with Randy, read one today with Randy that literally didn't have a question in it. They were just saying, you know, I think that if we had this, and if we had that, and if we had this and that, and this product here is by this person, which in turn, I know it's too overpriced, but if we could get it and this and that, but if they had this, and if we had that, and this and that, folks, what we've got is powerful. What we've got is legal. Okay, that's a key word right there. We've got an attorney that looks it over daily to make sure that we will stay in business 25 years from now. And that's what we're building. But we welcome suggestion. We invite comments. And we study and give you our answers based on what we feel would be the best for Genusity and all of you. So with that being said, we love you. That's the most powerful thing I can say to any of you, because we do. You're part of our family. When one of you hurt, we hurt. When one of you have success, we have success. So with that being said, may God bless each and every one of you. May he cast a shield of protection and prosperity, health and healing, and more importantly, love around you and your family. Take care. God bless you. We love you. And we'll see y'all this Tuesday, March 1st. Up, Amy. Rod has his hand. Where's Rod? Where are you? There you are. Okay, Rod, I just unmuted you.
Hey, awesome training.
Thank you.
I just had a quick question on that new page that's up there. First of all, thank you. Shout out for you guys in home office taking care of that. That's an awesome page. I like that. I did have a question about that. So if you had that link go out and somebody signs up for it, let's say on a Sunday, and then they get there, they can't do Tuesday's meeting or Thursday's meeting or whatever, or maybe even, 2 weeks out or something like that. That's still attached to you, right?
Yes, it is.
And then also, do those leads, do they go in the back of like the GMP?
No.
No,
it's for Tim and I to see only. They're not really attached to you like you would think, as far as like a cookie or something. They just show up in our admin area, and so if somebody's on the webinar and they say, I don't know who invited me, we can look at that list real quick with their name, and it'll show that, and we'll give them your link. That's how it's set up.
Okay, that's awesome. Then one more quick question on that is, like if they sign up or whatever, are they going to get a reminder through the system for you guys to say webinar on Tuesday or Thursday or Saturday, all that?
Until they opt out, they get reminders every day.
That is awesome. All right, thank you.
One last thing. Teresa asked, are we not taking suggestions for new products? Sure we are. Send them in. Understand we've already got a list of new products. And if you send us a product that we didn't think of, trust me, it'll get added to that list. If it's viable, if it's needed, we don't want to bring in a product that maybe 1% of the public needs. We want products that 90% of the public need and want. Okay.
And let me add to that real quick. If you send a product request in, the response you may get back is just thank you. That's not us being rude or brushing you off. That's just the quickest way for us to get through support tickets. Yeah. So it might just say thank you. You might have a whole list of products and we might just say thank you. So we're not being rude. We're just getting through all the support tickets.
Yeah, and we check it out. Like we had a product sent to us and we actually liked it, but we went to all the manufacturers and processors for that product and formulators. And the fact is, they want to see when there's a lot of products out there. I know we got to go. Jordy, stop the recording. Okay.
No, but I'll stop it now.
Okay. There's a lot of products